Students, today we start clause. Last class we did phrase. Look at the group of words in italics in the following sentences. Number 1, they rested at sunset. Number 2, they rested when evening came. It is evident that both groups of words in italics in number 1 and 2 do the work of an adverb, as they modify the verb rested, showing when the action was performed. We at once recognize the first group of words at sunset as adverb phrase. In the second group of words, when evening came, also an adverb phrase. So, but there's a question that when evening came, is it an adverb phrase? No, it is not a phrase. For unlike a phrase, it has a subject evening and a predicate came and went of its own, and thus like a sentence. But though like a sentence, it is a part of a sentence. So what I want to explain is that when evening came, it is a phrase, but it has a subject and a predicate of its own, just like a normal sentence. But although it looks like a sentence, it is a part of a sentence. It is not a complete sentence. It is a part of a sentence. Such group of words form a part of a sentence and has a subject and predicate of its own is called a clause. So what is a clause? A group of words that forms a part of the sentence and has a subject and predicate of its own is called a clause. Since the clause when evening came does the work of an adverb, it is called adverb clause. So the clause when evening came does it do? It does the work of an adverb, and it is called an adverb clause. So what is the definition? Definition is an adverb clause is a group of words which contains a subject and predicate of its own and does the work of an adverb. So the definition, remember, an adverb clause is a group of words which contains a subject and a predicate of its own and does the work of an adverb. Now we will examine two sentences, and the two sentences are: number 1, the stolen property was found in the dacoit's hiding place. The sentence is, the stolen property was found in the dacoit's hiding place. Number 2, the stolen property was found where the dacoits were accustomed to hide. The second sentence is, the stolen property was found where the dacoits are accustomed to hide. Notice that both the group of words in italics do the work of an adverb, but the group of words in italics in sentence 2 is a clause because it has a subject and predicate of its own. So in sentence 2 we have, it is called a clause because it has a subject and a predicate. What is the subject of the second sentence? The subject of the second sentence is the dacoits, and the predicate is were accustomed to hiding where. These are the subjects and predicates, and hence as it has a subject and predicate, it is a clause. While group of word in sentence 1 is a phrase. Now why is it a phrase? Because it does not contain a subject and a predicate of its own. Further, we notice that the adverb phrase in the dacoit's hiding place is equivalent to the adverb clause where the dacoits were accustomed to hiding. So In the first sentence, we have an adverb phrase, and the adverb phrase is in the dacoit's hiding place. In the second sentence, we have an adverb clause, and the adverb clause is where the dacoits were accustomed to hiding. So both are same, they are equivalent, and hence they can be replaced. Each can be replaced by the other. Now we come to adjective clauses. Look at the following sentence. The umbrella with a broken handle is mine. Number one. And number two is the umbrella which has a broken handle is mine. So follow the two sentences. The first sentence says the umbrella with a broken handle is mine, and number two, the umbrella which has a broken handle is mine. The first group of word, that is with a broken handle, describes the umbrella. That is, it qualifies a noun that does the work of an adjective. So then the first sentence, with the broken handle, it is describing the umbrella, that is a noun, and it is doing a work of an adjective. It is describing the umbrella. It is what we call adjective phrase. This is an adjective phrase because it is describing the your noun, that is umbrella. And this phrase does not contain a subject or a predicate of its own. In the second group of words, which has a broken handle, also describes the umbrella, and so does the work of an adjective. Second sentence, the phrase or the group of word, that is which has a broken handle, is also describing the umbrella and is also doing the work of an adjective. But the difference is it contains a subject and a predicate of its own. The difference between the first words of the group of words of the first sentence and the group of words of the second sentence is that the second sentence has a subject and a predicate of its own. Hence, it is an adjective clause. So I think you understood why it is an adjective clause. So the definition is an adjective clause is a group of word which contains the subject and predicate of its own and does the work of an adjective. Now we come to number 3, noun clause. Let's try to understand noun clause with the help of sentence. I expect to get a prize. Expect what? Expect to get a prize. Second sentence, I expect that I shall get a prize. Again, expect what? Expect a prize. Now, let's come to sentence 1. I expect to get a prize. To get a prize. This group of words does not contain a subject and a predicate of it. As it does not have a subject and a predicate of its own, therefore what is it? It is a phrase. Now this phrase is the object of the verb expect. In the sentence, the verb is expect. So the phrase to get a prize is acting as the object of the verb expect. Hence, does the work of a noun. So this phrase is acting as a noun, and therefore it is called a noun phrase. The second group of words. Now let's come to the second sentence. And the second sentence is, I expect that I shall get a prize. So the group of words, that I shall get a prize. The group of words is, that I shall get a prize, contains a subject and a predicate of its own. So this group of words has a subject and a predicate of its own. So as it contains a subject and a predicate of its own, what we can call it? We can call it as a clause. This clause is the object of the verb expect. Here also the verb is expect. So what we see? The group of word is acting as a noun to the verb or the object expect, and so does the work of a noun, and therefore we call it a noun clause. So why a clause? Because it has a subject and a predicate of its own. Now let us examine one more sentence. That you have come pleases me. The sentence is that you have come pleases me. Here the clause is that you have come. So what is the clause? That you have come. This is the subject of the verb pleases. So it is acting as the subject of the verb pleases. Therefore does the work of a noun and is called a noun clause. It is doing the work of a noun and hence we call it as a noun clause. So what is the definition? Definition is noun clause is a group of words which contains a subject and a predicate of its own and does the work of a noun. So it should have a subject and a predicate, and it should act as it should work for the noun, and then only we will call it a noun clause. Now we continue. We have now seen that there are three kinds of clauses: adverb clause, which does the work of an adverb; adjective clause, which does the work of an adjective; and noun clause, which do the work of a noun. Now let's examine this through few sentences. Now the sentences are: I knew where I could find him. I went to the place where I could find him. And number 3, I went where I could find him. In sentence 1, the clause does the work of a noun and is the object of the verb know. Number 2, the clause does the work of an adjective and qualifies the noun place. And in number 3, the clause does the work of an adverb and modifies the verb. So thus we see that the same clause may be a noun clause in one sentence and an adjective clause in another sentence, or yet adverb clause in another sentence. So what we can say is, it is therefore clear that we cannot say what kind of clause a clause is unless we carefully examine the work that it does in a sentence. That comes to an end of the chapter. So please write the notes that has been given or you can see in the whiteboard. That will help you out to understand the thing more clearly. Thank you.